What's going on YouTube? It's your boy the D20 here, and today I'm bringing you another Demon Slayer discussion video. This will be the next part in the highly anticipated breathing series where I go into depth and a little bit more detail of all the breathing styles that are present in the Demon Slayer universe. So if you are liking this series, definitely like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you think. Let me know how I can improve, and just let me know. So we're gonna get started. Thank you for joining me. The breathing styles are combat styles utilized by the Demon Slayer Corps. They are essentially breathing techniques that enhance their physical abilities to rival those of their demon prey. Also, though the styles are named after elements such as water, wind, and thunder, they do not give one the ability to use said element. So anything extra that you see in the anime or manga are used by the author to illustrate their movements in a more dynamic way. They are in fact named for the movements which are said to be reminiscent of the element for which they are named. So pretty much thunder breathing strikes like thunder, water flows, wind is tempestuous, things of that nature. It's just a little razzle dazzle, a little icing on the cake. The power of the Demon Slayer lies in their Nichiren blades. Each breathing style has a distinct color that a swordsman of sufficient skill's blade will take on. Beyond the general attack patterns that constitute the styles, the breathing techniques also allow their users to do things that normal breathing simply cannot do, such as slow the spread of poison or stop bleeding and coagulate blood. In the world of Demon Slayer, there are 14 total breathing styles which a Demon Slayer may choose from. There's one primary style, 6 secondary styles, 6 tertiary styles, and one fourth generation style. And this also denotes how they came about, with the primary being used to derive the 6 secondary, and a few of those secondary styles being used to derive the tertiary styles, and then one of the tertiary styles being used to beget the fourth generation style. As you can see from the thumbnail and the title of the video, this video is going to be about thunder breathing. Thunder breathing is a second generation breathing style that is known for its blinding speed and strong slashes. It is modeled after the fighting style Iaijutsu. It mainly focuses on using breathing to fortify the legs, fueling its blinding speed. A skilled thunder breathing swordsman's blade will turn yellow when drawing the Nichiren blade for the first time. It should be noted that Zenitsu's blade developed a yellow lightning streak along the blade rather than a simple yellow band. Now, thunder breathing is rather unique because, as far as we know, it is the only breathing style which you can say that one of the moves will actually serve as the foundation rather than just, learn whichever moves you can. Because in thunder breathing, the first form is said to be the foundation upon which all other moves stand. So it is paramount for a thunder breathing swordsman, if they're going to master thunder breathing, they will first need to make sure that they master the first form. Alrighty then, and now onto the part that you all have been waiting for. I'm going to go over the forms and explain them in greater detail. Now, with thunder breathing, there are 6 forms in total. And I know that if you're watching the anime, you've only seen Zenitsu use the first form, and you've seen him use a couple of improved alterations to it. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, I will be going into the other 5 forms, and I will have a demonstration on the screen from the manga. So if you do not want to be spoiled by the panels, don't watch the video. You can listen to it, hey, put it on the background while you clean, while you practice your swordsmanship, but do not look at the screen if you don't want to be spoiled. The explanation won't spoil, but looking at the panels up from the manga that I'm going to post will most definitely spoil you. So please, if you don't want to be spoiled, don't look at the video, just listen. Now, without further ado, the techniques. Thunder breathing. First form, thunder clap and flash. Kaminari no kyokyu, ichi no kata. Hekireki, yisen. For the first form of thunder breathing, the user dashes forward and slashes at their opponent with incredible speed. With this form, it's pretty basic, and as I was saying earlier, thunder breathing first form is the foundation. This is a typical EI slash. Pretty much just dashing at your opponent as fast as you can and drawing your blade to cut a demon's head off. It's not very fancy, but it gets the job done. Where this technique shines is its speed. For this technique, you would definitely not want to counterattack with it. You could, but with this, it's pretty much used to be a preemptive strike. Thunder breathing. First form. Thunderclap and flash. Sixfold. Kaminari no Kokyu. Hekireki Isen. Rokuren. This is one of the improved versions of Thunderclap and Flash that Zenitsu was able to come up with. This one in particular, he came up with it while he was fighting the Brother Spider on Mount Natsuguma. The only difference with this form is that it's a compilation of the first form dashes. He dashes 6 times, which even I believe the anime was more than 6, but its premise is you dash multiple times, and this time being 6, and then you cut. Thunder breathing. First form. Thunderclap and flash. 8-fold. Kaminari no Kyokyu. Hekireki Isen. Hachiren. This, as the name implies, there are 8 dashes rather than the 6. Not much here, just the standard dashing more times. Now with this and 6-fold, pretty much the reason he came up with these techniques was because just a single dash, and if I'm only doing one take, if an opponent can counterattack, the dashes help you confuse the opponent, help with your vantage point, get in a better position to land that deafening strike. Thunder breathing. First form. Godspeed. Kaminari no Kyokyu. Hekireki Isen. Shinsoku. This, he further augments his speed of Thunderclap and Flash, yet again making himself faster so that he can land that finishing blow. Now with that, we are done with the first form. There are no other forms, at least, that have an improvement made on them. They're just the forms. Thunder breathing. Second form. Rice spirit. Kaminari no Kokyu. Nin no Kata. Indama. With this technique, the swordsman is able to generate 5 straight attacks around the user in a single moment. Pretty much, this technique is pretty useful if you have either multiple opponents or one extremely fast opponent, so that you can swing in 5 separate directions almost simultaneously. Of course, you only got one hand, and in Thunder Breathing, at least all the users we've seen so far use one sword. So pretty much you slash in 5 separate directions. You can be in front, above, behind, to the left and right, so that you can slash at your opponent. Thunder breathing. Third form. Thunder swarm. Kaminari no Kokyu. San no Kata. Shubun Serai. This form generates a spinning wave that strikes all directions of the foe. So, a lot like the second one, it's made to attack multiple opponents. It's made to attack around you and defend around you. Not one thing I'm noticing with thunder breathing is speed is the name of the game, and also using these attacks in order to defend. Pretty much the best offense is a good defense. Thunder breathing. Fourth form. Distant thunder. Kaminari no Kokyu. Shin no Kata. Enrai. With this form, the user releases multiple ranged strikes towards their enemy. So pretty much this one, it's a ranged attack. This one, it's pretty much a ranged attack. You slash at your opponents, and it's meant to be done at a distance. So pretty much the vacuum wave created by your sword is pretty much what is meant to hit your opponent. Now, we've seen, with the way we saw this in the manga was a little bit different. but I'll explain that. I'll explain that later because certain parts of these techniques were seen in a certain type of way, and I think when I get there later, that I'll be able to explain why it's so weird. But next form, thunder breathing. Fifth form, heat lightning. Kaminari no kokyu, go no kata, netsu kairai. This one takes the form of a single focused slashing attack. Now, whereas the first form it happens from a draw, this one, presumably, you probably can do it from a draw, but this one, its main point is for it to be a single slash that from where your sword is already drawn. Yet again, not too much to explain here. Next, thunder breathing, sixth form, rumble and flash. Kaminari no kokyu, ryoku no kata, jingo raigo. This technique is a series of strong ranged attacks released from the user. So pretty much it can be thought of as if it were a upgraded version of the fourth. So just those same distant attacks, but stronger. And it's a series of them. It may not be just a few. It's just going. And those are all of the thunder breathing forms. Hey guys, how you doing? Yet again, this is your boy the D20 here, and I hope you're enjoying the video so far. I really do. Now, just a little heads up. I actually, originally when I was trying to kind of plan out these videos, I wasn't planning on doing this one so soon. This one, there's not a lot of spoilers, but there are some spoilers within this one. So, if you are an anime watcher, and learning about the other forms was cool, but you really don't want to know too much more, I would definitely suggest turning back now. Because I already told you, if you don't want to be spoiled, you should not be watching the video with the second through fifth. So with the second through sixth, not fifth, there are 5 extra techniques beyond the first one. The second through sixth forms, I said, if you want to listen to the video, cool, but you really don't want to watch it because the panels of the manga that I'm showing you give something away. So yet again, this is your warning. And like I said, this video is like a minute or so long. Well, not this video, but this segment is like a minute or so long. So yet again, if you do not want to know anything else, I have covered thunder breathing, the techniques. Next one I'm going to talk about are the users, and that's where we get kind of into spoiler territory. So yet again, if you don't want to know anything else, because like I said, it's kind of spoilery, and it has a lot to do with Zenitsu's growth and yada, that whole thing. So, like I said, if you don't want to know anything else, cut out here. I appreciate you for coming and watching. Definitely leave that like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. But yet again, this is your warning. Without further ado, we're getting deeper into thunder breathing. Alrighty? Now, guys, I owe you an apology. I've done you a disservice. I know I said that thunder breathing only had 6 forms, and prior to the story, it did. But Zenitsu, our boy, our crying whiner, he did a thing. He pulled a Giyu. He created his own form. And he needed to do this in order to combat his elder disciple, Kaigaku, who fell to the dark side and became a demon. So in order to combat him and in order to win, Zenitsu needed something. He needed something more. He needed something that could give him the edge. He needed the form that he created. Thunder breathing, 7th form, flaming thunder god. Kaminari no kokyu, shichi no katsu, hono ikazuchi no kami. This form is a form that was invented by Zenitsu, so it's all his own. This form, pretty much, it's like the first form, Thunder, Clap, and Flash. But it looks a little different. Like, when the razzle dazzle's put on it, there's a flaming thunder dragon behind him, but it's pretty much a blinding speed, the fastest he's ever moved, straight attack. And yet again, it's a one-hitter quitter. It's a finishing blow. I mean, yet again, thunder breathing in and of itself isn't too flashy, even with like footwork and stuff, but yet again, it's Zenitsu's technique, and him being the one who could actually master thunder breathing due to him mastering the first form, it's pretty safe to say that the technique that he came up with would be like the first form. But with that, we have truly come to the conclusion of thunder breathing's 7 forms. Alrighty, and now that we have all the forms out of the way, it's time to talk about the notable thunder breathers that we see within the Demon Slayer universe. There aren't a lot of them. There are only 3. There is the Cultivator and his two pupils, being Zenitsu, Agatsuma, and Kaigaku. But like always, we're going to start with the most notable, being Zenitsu. Now, Zenitsu is a crybaby. You can say he's a coward. He's kind of lecherous. And I don't know if I already say he was loud, but he's loud as hell. Even the Japanese or the English dub, he's a card. I'm going to save most of what I have to say about himself for his video. Eventually I'm going to do a character discussion video on Zenitsu, so I'm not going to harp too much on his personality. But as far as he goes as a thunder breather, he can only use the first form. But as we've said before, as we know, thunder breathing, first form, thunderclap and flash is the basis, the foundation of thunder breathing. So even though that's his one attack he can use, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Zenitsu uses that technique to great effect, and then he even goes on to create 3 improvements on it to overcome some of its disadvantages. I mean, it's like Bruce Lee said, I don't fear the man who's mastered 10,000 kicks. I fear the man who mastered one kick 10,000 times. Or something to that effect. Pretty much, he has honed that first form to a fine edge, and he uses it to great effect. He's beat a few demons with that form itself. He survived Final Selection with just that form. He survived being a Demon Slayer with just that form, and using that form as a basis, he also created the 7th form. So you could say that, you know, he's pretty good. But anyway, as a thunder breather, Zenitsu is A1 and one of the joint successors to thunder breathing. Now, for thunder breathing, there is a main cultivator, not the only cultivator that we see, but not the only cultivator for the style. Jigoro Kuwajima. He's a short old man with a he's a short old man with one leg. Interesting thing about him, like Tanjiro, Zenitsu was trained by a former Hashira, Jigoro Kuwajima. He is a former Hashira who lost one of his legs in his 30s, I believe it was, so that's why he retired. But he teaches thunder breathing, and he's very strict with Zenitsu, but only because he cares about him and he believes in him. Because yet again, Zenitsu is a monster with that first form. And it's mostly thanks to his master Kuwajima, believing in him and pushing him so hard. And with that, it is very sad to say that Master Kuwajima had to lose his life. Now, why, you ask? A former Hashira, even with one leg, you think he could defend himself. He could. Unfortunately, he was forced to take his own life. And that is due to thunder breathing producing a demon. Not only that, but the demon was someone he trained, not Zenitsu, Kaigaku. Now, what can I say about Kaigaku in relation to thunder breathing? He is Zenitsu's polar opposite, where Zenitsu could only do the first form. Kaigaku could only do 2 through 6. And yes, he did use them well, and he was thought to be very talented by everyone around him. He was still wasn't satisfied, and because Kuwajima would never make him his successor. Now, Kaigaku was very powerful to the point where I think I should explain this now. With forms 2 through 6, we only saw them when he was a demon using a demon blood art, so it can be thought that he was using his demon blood art while using the forms. So he had actual magics to actually conjure thunder, well, lightning, while he was using it. So that's why when I was going through the forms, it was kind of weird because the way we'd seen them wasn't the way that a normal person would use them. But luckily, Zenitsu was able to overcome Kaigaku using the 7th form and clearing thunder breathing of its blemish of creating a demon. And that's it. Those are the only 3 thunder breathers that we see. I know there are more. Yet again, Kuwajima is the primary cultivator, not the only cultivator, but the primary cultivator. But yeah, tell me what you think. What breathing style is your favorite? If you could come up with a thunder breathing form, what would it be? What is your favorite thunder breathing form? And yet again, this is your boy, the D20, signing out. Until next time, see you guys.